Hello, candle lovers. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name's Greg, and this is all about candles. Something a little bit different for you. Every Saturday, I like to do a candle haul on my channel, and this Saturday, I want to talk about 3 of my favorite Halloween candles because I just ordered 3 brand new ones for this upcoming season, and they are the Halloween collection from Village Candle. We've got Pumpkin Scarecrow. This is the only one that I've never tried before. We also have Haunted Mansion and Ghost Cemetery. Now, I will absolutely go on record saying that Ghost Cemetery and Haunted Mansion are 2 of my very favorite Halloween candles ever. I think my favorite type of candle for Halloween, and actually my favorite types of candle in general, are candles that are a little bit odd but very pleasant. And these definitely fall into that category. From Village, I really prefer these 21.25 ounce 2-wick format candles. These burn for like 160, 170 hours, so they really last a long time. And in fact, I have been buying these 2 candles every second year for, gosh, a long time. Probably like 5, 6, 7 years now. It's a big Halloween tradition for me to burn these 2 candles, and I just love them. I got all of these on Amazon Canada for about $30. Kind of a steep price, but when you think about the fact that you know that you love this candle like I do, and you know how long they burn for, and they always last me 2 seasons. So I do have reviews out already for Ghost Cemetery and Haunted Mansion. I'll link to them below in case you're interested in checking them out. But what ends up happening with these candles for me is I burn them like all October long, but I still only get through about half of them. So for instance, this year, I'll probably burn about half of all of these and then save the last half for Halloween next year. And so in my opinion, as long as you know you love the fragrance and you know the candles perform decently and they're gonna last you 2 Halloween seasons, for me $30 is money well spent. If you're in the States, you can get them off of like the Stonewall Kitchen website for, I think they usually run for somewhere between $17.95 to $21.95, depending on if there's a sale or not on the American Stonewall Kitchen website. And I just love these candles. I love that they are sort of interesting, odd, but pleasant conceptual candles. And we're gonna go through them all one by one. Let's start off with Ghost Cemetery. I just love the bright white wax on this candle and the spooky cemetery photo with the ghost lurking over there and the pure white wax. We've got 2 wicks on these. Just a reminder that on this format of Village Candle, you do not want to trim these wicks. I have learned that lesson over the years, and actually on the website, Village says that with this format, you don't want to be trimming the wicks. So let's get into some scent stories and some scent notes. We've got some good scent stories for these candles, and I'm going to do some dramatic readings. Ghost Cemetery. Spend a chilly and haunting evening in the midst of a foggy gray cemetery where ghouls, ghosts, and spirits of the night linger and watch from above. This mysterious scent both frightens and brings comfort to the air. I love it. The fragrance notes on this, the top notes are incense, cinnamon, fir needles, and black pepper. The middle notes are coconut, clove, and coffee. And the base notes are tonka, vanilla, white musk, sandalwood, cedarwood, and patchouli. Now, those are a lot of scent notes. So let me break down the scent notes in here that I think are the most prominent. First of all, there's definitely like an incensey vibe to this candle. Not so much like that churchy kind of incense, but more that like patchouli, kind of witchy, woodsy sort of incense. So I like that they have incense in this description, even though that doesn't really tell you much without going into what kind of incense it is. You definitely get sort of a smoky component from this candle though. Cinnamon I pick up on, fir needles absolutely, black pepper for sure. I don't really pick up on the coconut. Like, I don't think that if I were to smell this candle without reading the scent notes, I'd be like, coconutty. You know what I mean? But there is sort of a vague, almost abstract sweetness to this candle. I think it's really nicely balanced and, like I said, weird but pleasant. The middle notes, coconut, clove, and coffee. I don't really pick up on coffee in here. Clove for sure. The base notes are tonka, vanilla, white musk, sandalwood, cedarwood, and patchouli. And what I think that all adds up to is that in the base there is a very sort of slightly sweet and smooth, creamy woodsiness. So on top, you have those spices, a little bit of a vague sweetness, and in the base of it, like a smooth kind of woodsiness. And there's also a bit of interesting kind of funky smokiness to this fragrance as well. I really, really love it. And I do find that these candles perform fairly well. You have to be pretty patient sometimes with Village candles. More often than not, these big ones will go through phases where they're dudding out a little bit. I almost always burn this format of candles from Village. I almost always burn them in a smaller to a medium-sized space in a hurricane. We usually get up to probably like a 6 or a 6.5 for strength and throw, which for me, you know, I do wish they were a little bit stronger, but I think they're perfectly acceptable. My favorite thing to do with Village candles is to put them on my desk in a hurricane and just kind of let them burn all day long if I'm like home working for the day. And then they really do get to go in with a nice, deep, even wax pool, and the strength and throw is definitely acceptable. Let's move on to Haunted Mansion. Spooky. I love this candle. I think that this one is probably my favorite out of these three candles. And look at that gray wax on here. Love it. Man, this is such an interesting fragrance. I really, really enjoy this one. We've got a spooky scent story for Haunted Mansion. A haunted house nestled high on the hill is dark and empty as clouds of smoke and fog mysteriously mingle, tempted by the sweetness of dark berries and warm notes of patchouli fill the air, inviting you in for an evening of fright. So stupid. Anyways, the scent notes on Haunted Mansion. For the top notes, we have dark plum, red berries, carrot seed, and citrus zest. The middle notes are rose, lily, clove leaf, and tulip. And the base notes are patchouli, cedarwood, vetiver, sandalwood, and vanilla musk. And yeah, this is a really interesting, kind of like dusty, plumish. You know, I think that Village does a really great plum note. I talk about this candle all the time called Fairy Dust. Fairy Dust is a really great sort of like plum and amber fragrance. And I think that there is a bit of a similar plum note happening in here, but everything else in this candle though makes it quite a bit deeper and darker and richer than that Fairy Dust candle is. And so to break down these scent notes, what I pick up on the most is the dark plum and a little bit of a citrus. And then in the middle, there is a bit of a floral to this candle, which is interesting. And it says rose here, and I would maybe describe the floral scent in this as like a little bit of a dusty rose. And then in the base, patchouli, cedarwood, vetiver, sandalwood, vanilla musk, definitely like a slightly funky and smooth woodsiness in the base. And I mean, this really does kind of smell like what you would expect a haunted mansion to smell like, or an old house. But what makes it really interesting and spooky and just neat is like that dark plum fragrance in here. gives it like this odd sort of spooky sweetness. I mean, to me, guys, like Ghost Cemetery and Haunted Mansion are like the epitome of excellent Halloween candles. The concept is really, really interesting. The fragrance is well executed. They smell pleasant, but also kind of weird. I just love these candles so much, and every single Halloween, I look really forward to burning some Haunted Mansion. And I also just love keeping these candles around all October long, because I'll just like pick them up and smell them on cold all the time, and they bring me joy. All right, and now I wanted to try this one this year because I had never tried this one before, but this is Pumpkin Scarecrow. I really like the label on this one, and I love this orange shade of wax as well. Really, really cool presentation on this. And let's get into the scent notes and the scent story. An aged scarecrow. An aged scarecrow stands overlooking his field of pumpkins with glowing jack-o'-lantern eyes. The rolling hills of amber and smoky woods haunt the foggy evening. A ragged wool shirt hangs from his shoulders while crows touch down for a brief visit. A classic pumpkin fragrance with a ghostly touch creates the perfect hollowed night. And the scent notes on this one. On top, we have soft spices, nutmeg, clove, and apple. In the middle notes, we have sweet caramel, coconut milk, and toasted almond. And in the base notes, we have creamy vanilla, maple sugar, amber, baked notes, and guaiac wood. I think that this is a really interesting fragrance, and this is the first time that I've ordered it. And I really, really like this because it's not a super like sweet pumpkin candle, and it's also not just one of those pumpkin candles that's just a really sort of basic blend of autumnal kitchen spices. There's actually a lot going on in here, and I kind of regret not giving this candle a chance earlier. I say all of that to say I don't know how this candle burns or performs yet. What I pick up on the most, this is definitely a pumpkin candle, but I think it's a little bit more interesting and nuanced than a lot of the pumpkin candles that we get this time of year. I definitely pick up on the soft spices, nutmeg and clove, but it's not overdone. What I pick up on the most, I think, is like sort of a sweet pumpkin note. I don't think I'd pick out coconut smelling this candle without scent notes, but there is definitely a bit of a nutty and caramelized fragrance here, but it's not a super sweet, sticky, saccharine, like ooey gooey caramel note. It's kind of like a light, but almost sort of, oh, how to describe it? It's kind of a light and soft caramel note. And I really love that it's not overly spicy or overly sweet. I think there's a lot happening in the base here. Definitely a little bit of amber. And I do pick up on something that's a little bit bakery, although I don't think that I would classify this candle as a bakery candle or a gourmand candle. I think it's just a really nicely executed like pumpkin fragrance, and it's so well balanced with like the base notes and the top notes that it doesn't come across as your really sort of typical like sweet cinnamon pumpkin fragrance from Bath and Body Works. There's also a little bit of a woodsiness in here, I think. And I think it smells great. I'm really excited to dig into this candle for the first time this year and get into it. Pumpkin Scarecrow. So those are the 3 Halloween Village candles that I'm going to be burning this season. You know, everybody is so excited right now about Halloween happening. I just placed a big Goose Creek Halloween order, so I'm excited for those candles to get here. I've got my Halloween stuff from Bath and Body Works now. People are getting really, really into Kringle Halloween Halloween, and I always feel like Village Candle is a bit of an underdog, and I honestly think that every year at Halloween, their candles get overlooked. I mean, they don't mix it up a lot. As far as I know, these are the only 3 Halloween candles that they do, and they've been doing them like consistently and consecutively for years and years and years now. But I really just hope that they keep doing them and like don't mess with a good thing, because I look forward to these every year, and I just wanted to bring some of these to your attention in case you're interested in getting them. I know that these are available in a lot of countries on Amazon if you're interested, even in places like the UK and Europe. I think that you can get these on Amazon. So I just wanted to give Village Candle a little bit of a Halloween shout out amongst all of this noise of Kringle and Goose Creek and Bath and Body Works at the moment, because these are truly like 2 of my favorite Halloween candles ever. Anyways, that's all I've got for you folks today. Thank you for joining me for this week's Saturday candle haul. I'm going to be back tomorrow with the weekly wax wrap up, so stay tuned for that. And until next time, my dear gorgeous and beautiful candle loving friends, let's burn some candles and bitch about it. Thanks, you guys. Bye for now.